My people, now well done. Oh. Welcome to another special edition of We Don't Catch 'em. You know how we dey do am for this program. If you dey suspect say your man or your woman they play ball outside, this is the program to come. For today's edition, one special woman, fine girl, fine anyhow, they suspect say her man they shop ogbono outside. The one like a goosey soup, instead of him to choose a goosey or ogbono, he they mix the two together. As a matter of fact, it be like say this man they mix 3 different kind of soup together. So now today we go know. Say I where they cry, they see road. Come with me, make we go bust.
Abrogodo it. Celebo on the beat. Yeah, me holiday.
Yes, real deal. VIP people, clap for yes, Bovi!
Television. You obviously haven't been home in a long time, eh? Oh wow, I'm surprised, man. I'm excited. It's so good to be here. I'm seeing white folks. White folks came to see me. Are you guys in the right place?
Mr. Bovi, welcome to Sydney. Welcome to Australia. This is your first time?
Yeah, very first time. Longest journey ever.
22 hours of pain.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. But you know, if the myth is actually stronger than the reality of it, in the sense that when it's time to sleep, your body shuts down. You know? So yeah.
Did you, at any point in your life, did the boy from Isoko ever wonder whether you've been in Australia performing to hundreds of people and touring the world?
To be honest, no. I think sometimes there's a limit to how far you can dream. I dreamt of big things, I dreamt of successful things. But if I say I dreamed of the day where I would get a call and say, you know what, we want to pay you, just come and talk to us, I really didn't see that coming.
And when did you realize that you had a gift, a comedic gift, because you've studied the arts and the rest of it, but when did you actually make a decision that I'm going to comedy full-time and entertain for the rest of my life?
I think I made a more conscious effort to go into entertainment. I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I was 15 when I asked my mom that people who become entertainers, especially actors, what do they study in the university? Because I was about to get into the university, and she said it was theater arts. You know, so that was when I made up my mind that I was going to study theater. You know, that's just it. And I went on to study theater. I graduated, you know, had my youth service. Immediately after that, I swung into action, you know.
Yeah, Nigerian comedy is coming in leaps and bounds, and we have your good friend Basket Mouth and yourself and a few other Gode and the rest of them. Is there a sense of competition or a sense of let's call it beef as they call it in the modern world? Is there ever any sense of tension among some of the artists within Nigeria, especially in comedy, trying to struggle to be the best of the rest of them?
To be honest, no. I say no because within my circle, you know, is nothing but love. The Basket Mouth was like the pace setter for us, the groundbreaker, you know, and he was always like, you know what, guys, come around, let's do this, we'll be successful. I've taught this city, I've taught this one, let's, you know. So he always shared, you know, and to a large extent we always check each other's materials out. I'm like, oh, how did you think of this? And I didn't think of it, you know. Say it like this, say it like this, you know. We brush up for each other a lot, so there isn't really any sense of competition. It's healthy, rather. The competition we have is very healthy. It's to make each other better.
And in your routines, you do a lot of as expected, a lot of jokes, but there are also some very serious topics that you touch on. Like, for instance, last night you touched on identity, issue of identity, where you sort of touched on Boko Haram and the rest of them. And overnight we also got a message that they've decided to link up with the ISIS as well. So as a Nigerian, and with all the attention, that negative attention that is focused on the issue of Boko Haram, what's your take on it, and how do you use your act to sort of portray the other side of Nigeria where there's peace, there's love, there's unity, and a sense of people coming together to do positive things?
There are like 6 geographical regions in Nigeria: northeast, northwest, north central, southeast, southwest, south, and there's middle belt as well. The Boko Haram issue is predominantly in the northeast, right? So sometimes I feel I blame the press. I blame the press for blowing these things out of proportion. Not that the loss of a life should not go out as news, but there's a whole lot of propaganda going on. Global terrorism is like a global threat now. You get, but what I'm trying to say is this thing is just happening in a portion of Nigeria. So it's really not cool when people, the press tends to make people look like the whole of Nigeria is at war, you know. So I try not to really dwell on it when I'm doing my material, because I'm giving power to it by talking about it. I'm giving life to it. If you notice yesterday, it was just a one-line mention, just because I was talking about identity. It was just, I could have easily skipped it if I wanted to. You get, it was just a one-line mention, because that doesn't really define who we are as Nigerians.
And going forward, the election is coming up soon. So as a comedian, it must be heaven for you, because you get plenty of material to work with them.
Absolutely. Although this period is very sensitive now because of the growth of social media, the online presence is really crazy. So even for somebody like me, I pitched my tent with the president, the incumbent, you get, and people have gone berserk online. It's just crazy. But I tell them, you people forget that I've actually made jokes of this very same government. Probably you took me too seriously. My job is to make jokes.
So perhaps you should have been independent and not side with any?
That's hard, because that's not who I really am. People get to know Bovi the comedian, but that's just one of several facets, of Bovi. That's one of several. I was raised by a politician. My mom is a historian. My dad is a historian and a politician, so it's hard for me not to air my political views and my beliefs. It's very hard.
Given what you just mentioned, is there a possibility that one day, post-comedy or post-entertainment, that's where you'll be headed?
No. Unfortunately, no. No. I can be a consultant, but I will never really go into politics. I doubt.
Last question. What do you see the future of Nigerian comedy 5-10 years from now?
I just see us bringing the world closer. When I say bringing the world closer, the way the world accepted Jamaicans for who they are, not just in Jamaica but in Hollywood, the way they accepted the Latin community for who they are, that's what Nigeria is going to be like. I feel we are on the road to carving a niche for ourselves. We just haven't found it yet, but I know it's there somewhere where people will be able to recognize Nigerians for their flavor.
Oga Bovi, thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Me holiday. It's the feasty, baby. Johnny leave me follow Cynthia, and I don't know what to do. And he talk say I no do like the way Cynthia they do. Johnny give Uche belle. He talk say he want marry nene. Won't kem kedi peneme. Johnny Mo, I'm looking for my Johnny. Where is my Johnny?